Hello. As a former basketball player and basketball fan, there's a topic that I think is really important that I want to address. Being that within the last, I want to say 20, 25 years or so, the NBA and just basketball in general has become more of a global sport. Um, it's now being played in most countries across the world, and a lot of the great talent from other countries come over to the States in the NBA play basketball. And you've seen with the way the landscape of the league is now that most of the best players in the league are European or have European origin. And that leads to one of the biggest problems with media in general, particularly regarding the NBA. There's a certain level of of xenophobia that exists within NBA media circles. And what I mean by that is there's a certain reputation that European players have when they come over to the league, and they don't come over to the league with a certain level of respect. I would say, like back, I would say in the '90s Jordan era, there was a stereotype that European players are soft or they're not they're they're not meant to be in the NBA. And even now, that a lot of European players have, for lack of better words, taken over the NBA. It's easy to wonder why certain players aren't being marketed more, even though they're the best players in the league. And the answer for a lot of media personnel is simply that they're European. That a European player can't be the face of an American league, which is stupid, first of all. But take take Jokic for example. If you watch basketball, you've seen Jokic play. You know, won the championship last year, two-time MVP, about to be three-time. He's the best player in the league. It's fairly simple. It's not unreasonable to think that. But media, big media outlets hate talking about him because he's not flashy. He doesn't talk much. He goes to work and he comes home. Like that's all he does. Some people in the media don't like him because one, he's European, and because two, he doesn't fit the mold of what a NBA superstar is supposed to be. The flamboyance, the flash, the certain demeanor that I guess you're supposed to have. But he wins. He dominates the game. I mean, that's what he gets paid to do, right? Like it's really strange to me. Even take Giannis for example. Giannis for a 3 year stretch, from I would say about 2020, not from about the end of 2019 to 2022, where he was probably the best player in the league, winning championships, winning a championship, winning multiple MVPs. But people said that he couldn't be the face of the league because he's not relatable enough. Now, what would make him not relatable? Aside from the fact that he has a Greek name, he's just a guy. He's a he's a black player, and most of the kids, I would say a vast majority of the kids that play basketball and kids that watch the NBA are black kids. Giannis is a black player. He's just Greek. What's not relatable about that? Giannis is a regular guy. He's fun to watch. I There's no actual basketball reason that you can give as to why Giannis doesn't didn't at that point deserve to be face of the league. Why other guys like Jokic, like Luka Doncic, why those guys don't deserve to be the face of the league. The NBA tries so hard to market the American players that are coming into the league. Take, for example, John Morant, Zion Williamson. With the age of LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, those guys going into the latter stages of their career, getting ready to retire, the NBA has been looking for a new guy to push as the face of the league. And they always do it with American born players. Even when those guys don't turn out well, they'll do the best they can to push them. Even John Morant with his with his foolishness, with his gun charges, with overall conduct that's detrimental to the league. Because he's an American-born player, he's a flashy player. He talks a lot. He's active on social media. The league will try to push him, even though he's not as good as any of the other guys that I just mentioned. He's not. I think that a lot of media, it just this isn't even just something that extends to basketball. It extends to baseball. It extends to other sports too. If you recall, over like a couple of years ago, Stephen A. Smith, uh, analyst on ESPN First Take, he said Shohei Ohtani couldn't be the face of baseball because he's not American. He's one of the best players ever. Why can he not be the face of the league? I don't. It doesn't make sense. It's not something that makes sense to me. I I believe that, in all honesty, that there's a deeper level of, I don't necessarily want to call it racism, but there's a deeper level of prejudice that exists with people in general in the states as it pertains to Europeans, particularly within the realm of sports. I don't see why that a guy who's at the top of his sport, probably one of the best players in the best league in the world, don't get the attention or the respect that they deserve just because of the country that they were born in. It doesn't make sense to me. It never will make sense to me. And I think that Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, has talked more and more about trying to make the NBA into a global brand. I don't see how you can make the NBA into a global brand if you're constantly treating European, Asian players that aren't, even African players that aren't American. You can't treat your players this way and have major media outlets that millions of people listen to, treat your players this way and expect to expand the league. That's not how that works. You have to push the best players, regardless of where they're from. The best product that is out there, regardless of where it came from. If it's the best product that you can put out, you push it. It doesn't make sense to do otherwise just on the basis of where someone came from. That's all I have to say.